Hello students, this is Mrs. Sonal Patil. In our last class, we have started with the chapter Sexual Reproduction in Flowering Plants. This is a continuation of the chapter. Already we discussed the pre-fertilization structure and events in which we discussed about male reproductive organ, that is stamen, structure of microsporangium, the process of microsporogenesis, and finally we concluded with the pollen grain. Today we will study about female reproductive organ, that is gynoecium. The gynoecium represents the female reproductive part of the flower. Members of gynoecium are called as carpels or pistils. Each pistil is a unit of gynoecium comprising of ovary, style and stigma. Gynoecium may be comprised of one or more carpels. If the gynoecium is made up of single carpel, it is called as monocarpellary. Mono refers to single. So if single carpel is there, it is called as monocarpellary, and if the gynoecium is consisting of more than one carpel, it is called as multicarpellary. If there are more than one carpels and they are fused, then the condition is called as syncarpous. Example, mustard. So here you can see syncarpous ovary where the carpels are many and they are fused. It is called as syncarpous. Whereas when the carpels lie free from each other, they are called apocarpous, as in Michaelia. You can see over here the carpels are free, they are not fused. So free carpels are present. So this condition is called as apocarpous. So when carpels are fused, syncarpous. When carpels are free, the condition is called as apocarpous. In pistil, stigma is small, rounded or lobed head. So the shape of the stigma differs in different species, but this stigma serves as a landing platform for receiving the pollen grains. So whichever might be the shape of the stigma, it serves as a landing platform for receiving the pollen grains. So it is a part of the gynoecium which is receiving the pollen grain. Style is slender stalk supporting the stigma. So style is elongated slender part which is present beneath the stigma. Ovary is the swollen basal part which contains one or more chambers called locules. So the basal bulged part of the pistil is the ovary. Inside the ovary is the ovarian cavity or locule. So the chambers which are present in the ovary are called as locules. These are the locules, the chambers, and these are the ovules which are attached here. Ovules or microsporangia are borne on ridge of tissue called placenta lying on inner wall of the ovary. So they arise from the placenta. Now these ovules which are present in the locules, they may be one or more, or the chambers also may be one or more chambers. So the ovary may contain one or more chambers in it, and the ovules are borne on ridge of tissue called placenta. So finally, the gynoecium is made up of 3 parts, or each pistil has 3 parts: the stigma, style and ovary, where the stigma serves as a landing platform for pollen grains. The style is the elongated slender part beneath the stigma, and the basal bulge part of the pistil is the ovary, and inside the ovary are the locules. Arrangement of ovules on the placenta is called placentation, which you have already studied in your previous years. Placentation is the arrangement of ovules on the placenta, and depending upon its arrangement, there are different type of placentation like marginal placentation, axial placentation, parietal placentation, free central placentation and basal placentation. The number of ovules in an ovary may be 1, as I told you. Ovules, number of ovules may differ in different species. It may be having 1 or they may have many ovules in the ovary. Coming to the next is the megasporangium, a very important question from exam point of view, a 5 marks question, many a times been asked in the exams. Structure of megasporangium or the ovule. Diagram with a description is required. Now the typical angiosperm ovule has been shown over here. These ovules, they are nothing but, the ovule is a small structure which is attached to the placenta. It is attached to the placenta and it is having different parts like funicle, nucellus, integuments, micropyle, chalaza, hilum and embryo sac. Let us discuss one by one. Funicle. The ovule is a small structure attached to the placenta by means of stalk called funicle. So funicle is nothing but it is the stalk by means of which the ovule is attached to the placenta. Nucellus. The primordium grows into a mass of cells forming nucellus, the body of the ovule. So major portion of the ovule is made up of a parenchymatous mass called as nucellus. Here is a nucellus. The cells of the nucellus are rich in reserve food. They are rich in reserve food. Coming to the next are the integuments. These are the integuments or the coverings. The protective covering of nucellus are the integuments. So you can see here 2 integuments are shown. Outer is an outer integument, inner is an inner integument. So these are the integuments been shown. So the integuments are the protective covering of nucellus. So it is covering the nucellus, except you can see over here, except it is not covering here in the micropyle. Micropyle, now here what is it? Integuments encircle the ovule except at tip where there is a small opening called as micropyle. So this is the micropyle where the integuments are not covering the nucellus completely, they leave a small opening called as micropyle. Chalaza is the basal part of ovule that lie opposite to micropyle. It is present opposite to the micropyle called as chalaza. Hilum, the body of the ovule fuses with funicle in the region called as hilum. So the body of the ovule is fusing with the funicle at the region called as hilum. Now coming to the next is the embryo sac. This is the embryo sac. It is called as female gametophyte. This is located in the nucellus, which is developed from megaspore. It is developed from megaspore. It contains, now this embryo sac is consisting of egg apparatus. This is nothing but they have shown here egg cell. Egg cell along with the two synergids forms the egg apparatus, and it is having antipodals towards the chalazal end. Antipodal cells are present, and in the center it is having the secondary nucleus. So this is the embryo sac of the ovule. So these are the parts of the ovule, very important. Funicle is nothing but, here the ovule is a small structure attached to the placenta by means of stalk called as funicle. Nucellus is a major part of the ovule, parenchymatous mass, where the cells are rich in reserve food. Integuments are the coverings which are covering the body of the ovule, except at a point called as micropyle, where the integuments are not covering the ovule. They leave a small opening called as micropyle. Chalaza is the basal part of the ovule, present at the opposite of the micropyle. Hilum is a region where the ovule is fusing with the funicle, and the major part, important part, is the embryo sac, which is the female gametophyte. So very important is the structure of megasporangium. Now here are the types of ovules. The first one is orthotropous, the second is anatropous, the third one is hemianatropous, the fourth one is camphylotrophous, fifth one is amphitropous, and the last one is cercinotropous. Now in exam, the question may be asked as describe anatropous ovule. So the earlier what we discussed, now this is the anatropous ovule which is inverted. This is an anatropous ovule. So you have to sketch and label this diagram if they specify and ask sketch and describe anatropous ovule, or they may ask you this diagram, or this is the diagram of an orthotropous ovule. This also may be asked, so you have to practice both the diagrams. Keep in mind that opposite to the micropyle, chalaza is there. Now this is then orthotropous, this is an orthotropous ovule, and the earlier one is an anatropous ovule. So any one may be asked, so you have to be prepared with both the diagrams. The labelings are same, only thing is that in orthotropous ovule, the body of these ovule is straight, so that chalaza, nucellus, integuments merge, and the funicle which attaches the ovule to the placenta all lie in the same line in the orthotropous ovule. Okay, so this is orthotropous ovule been shown here, and the earlier one is the anatropous ovule. If in the exam, if they don't specify whether anatropous or orthotropous, if they only simply mention explain the structure of megasporangium, any one diagram you can draw and explain the parts of the ovule. Now if you see the different types of ovule over here, as I told you, the first one is the orthotropous. In orthotropous, all lie in the same line. You can just see over here. So this is where the body of these ovule is straight, so that chalaza, where the nucellus and the integuments merge, the funicle which attaches the ovule to the placenta and the micropyle are all aligned in the same line. And anatropous, as you have seen, it is inverted. Okay, it is completely inverted during the development, so that the micropyle lies close to hilum. Okay, whereas in hemianatropous, the body of these ovules become at right angle. You can just see it is at the right angle in relation to the funicle. So it looks like ovule is lying on its side. Camphylotrophus, the body of this type is bent to the alignment between the chalaza and micropyle is lost, the embryo sac is slightly curved. You can see embryo sac is slightly curved over here. In Amphitropus, the body of the ovule is very much curved and the embryo sac and ovule itself take the shape of horseshoe. Embryo sac is horseshoe shaped over here. In Circinotropus, the funicle in this case is especially long that it creates a nearly full circle around the ovule, whose micropyle is ultimately pointing upwards. So, these are the different types of ovules. Now, the types of ovules will not be asked, but you should know what are these: orthotropous, anatropous. So, I told you be perfect with the anatropous and the orthotropous ovule. See the labeling, how it is to be done in both the types of ovules. So, a very important question for 5 marks. Coming to the next is megasporogenesis. As we discussed microsporogenesis, this is megasporogenesis. The process of formation of megaspore from megaspore mother cell is known as megasporogenesis. So, in the last class we have seen that how microspores are formed. In today's class we will discuss how these megaspores are formed. One of the nucellar cell in the micropylar region, remember the structure of the ovule in which we studied the nucellus. So, in the nucellus there is a nucellar cell in the micropylar region. It will get differentiated into megaspore mother cell. I hope you are understanding this. So, in nucellus near the micropylar region, one cell will be differentiated into megaspore mother cell, and this cell is larger, contains dense cytoplasm and prominent nucleus. As you can see in the diagram over here, the megaspore mother cell, the cell is quite larger and it is having a dense cytoplasm and prominent nucleus. This cell will undergo meiosis, firstly forming megaspore dyad and then it forms megaspore tetrad. So, megaspore mother cell undergoes meiosis forming 4 haploid cells called megaspore tetrad, and they are arranged in a linear fashion. 3 megaspores degenerate and only 1 megaspore becomes functional. So, 4 megaspores are present over here, out of which 3 will degenerate and 1 remains functional. Functional megaspore is the first cell of female gametophyte. So, remember, megasporogenesis is the process of formation of megaspores from megaspore mother cell. And where is this megaspore mother cell present? It is present in the nucellus. Okay, so one of the nucellar cell at the micropylar region, it is differentiated as megaspore mother cell, which will undergo meiosis and forms 4 haploid cells called megaspore tetrad, of which 3 will degenerate and 1 remains functional, which will later develop into the female gametophyte. Very important again. Now, this female gametophyte, how it develops, we have to study. The nucleus of the functional megaspore. In previous slide, we have seen that 4 megaspores are formed, of which I told you 3 will degenerate and 1 remains functional. That one functional megaspore will divide mitotically to form 2 nuclei. So, here it has been shown. So, megaspore will divide to form 2 nuclei which move opposite to each other, forming 2 nucleate embryo sac. 2 more sequential mitotic nuclear divisions result in the formation of 4 nucleate and 8 nucleate stages of embryo sac. So here 2 nucleate embryo sac will further divide to form 4 nucleate embryo sac. Again it divides to form 8 nucleate embryo sac. Now these nuclear divisions are not followed immediately by cell wall formation. After this 8 nucleate stage, cell walls are laid down, leading to the organization of typical embryo sac or typical female gametophyte. So here you can see 8 nuclei are present. Now these 8 nuclei will get organized into a typical female gametophyte. How they are getting organized now? As I told you, in 8 nucleate embryo sac, 4 nuclei are present at one pole, 4 are present at another pole. Now out of these 8, 6 are surrounded by cell walls and organized into cells. Now here you can see 8 out of 8, 3 at the chalazal end have formed antipodals, 3 at the micropellar end has formed egg apparatus. This is the egg apparatus having 2 egg synergids and 1 egg cell. So these are 2 synergids been shown and this is 1 egg cell. So these are forming the egg apparatus and 3 are forming the antipodals. Now remaining are the 2 which come in the center and they are called as the polar nuclei, which are situated in the central large cell here. So this is the organized embryo sac. 3 cells are grouped, I told you, together at the micropellar end and constitute the egg apparatus. The egg apparatus in turn consists of, I told you, 2 synergids and 1 egg cell. 3 cells at the chalazal end, they will form the antipodals and the large central cell has 2 polar nuclei. Thus typical angiosperm embryo sac at maturity, though 8 nucleate, is 7 celled structure. I hope you have understood the development of female gametophyte. To just revise, I told you megasporogenesis gives us the formation of 4 megaspores, out of which 3 will degenerate, 1 remains functional. That 1 megaspore will undergo mitotic divisions to form 2 nucleate, 4 nucleate and 8 nucleate embryo sac, and after the 8 nucleate stage the cell wall formation takes place and the cells are grouped as antipodals at the chalazal end, egg apparatus at the micropellar end, and in the center there are polar nuclei. Again a very important question for 5 marks. Development of female gametophyte. In exam they may also ask, explain the structure of female gametophyte. In that case you have to only explain the structure of this embryo sac, okay, and you have to draw the diagram showing antipodals towards the chalazal end, egg apparatus which is comprising of synergids and egg cell towards the micropellar end, and the polar nuclei, and describe the structure of this embryo sac or the female gametophyte. Now here you shouldn't explain the development of female gametophyte, you have to explain the structure only of the female gametophyte. That is nothing but the female gametophyte is also called as embryo sac. In angiosperms it mostly develops as 7 celled 8 nucleate structure. It consists of antipodal cells, 1 central cell, 2 synergids, 1 egg cell mostly. So you have to explain about the embryo sac, that is towards the chalazal end there are antipodals, towards the micropellar end there is egg apparatus which is comprising of synergids and egg cell. So here also it has been shown, okay, and here you can just see in the synergids you can see they have labeled as filiform apparatus. About this we will discuss in the next class. So you can see filiform apparatus are present in the synergids. So these are 2 synergids, egg cell, antipodals and the polar nuclei. So very important is the structure of female gametophyte. It is also been asked many a times. Structure of female gametophyte. Here the entire process has been shown. So here you can see megaspore mother cell undergoes division, forms 4 haploid daughter cells, that is 4 megaspores are formed, 3 will degenerate, 1 remains functional, and that 1 will undergo mitotic divisions. Here 1 megaspore which is having a single nuclei, it divides to form 2 nucleate embryo sac, 4 nucleate embryo sac, and finally the 8 nucleate embryo sac, and later it will get organized in this form. So this is the entire process been shown of megasporogenesis and development of female gametophyte. Okay, so here that completes about the gynoecium, and these are the assignment questions. The first question is, write the events of development of female gametophyte in correct order. Second, explain the structure of megasporangium or the ovule. Describe the structure of anatropous ovule. See, this question is many a times repeated, so you please practice the diagram and the description. Draw and describe the structure of matured embryo sac of angiosperms. Lastly, what is megasporogenesis? Explain the development of 8 nucleate embryo sac of angiosperms in flowering plants. So these are the most important questions from this part of the chapter. Now this I will conclude today's class, and in our next class we will begin with pollination and types of pollination. Thank you.